here is singer-songwriter, broadcaster, audio-video artist, entertainment agent, and your host for the Dharmic Evolution. It's the master storyteller himself, James Kevin O'Connor.
And welcome back to the Dharmic Evolution. It's James Kevin O'Connor, your host today, and we have an author for you that is going to knock your socks off. Yeah, it's Luz Darry Griffiths, and we're going to Pembroke, Florida. But before that, we were in the British Isles. But before that, we were in Bogota, Colombia. And this is the story, the journeys of Darry. We're going to find out all about her book. And where do you hear about this? It's called En la Infinita Intensidad. Or for you Americans, Infinite Intensity. You better strap up your seatbelts, because we're going for a ride.
Are you a singer-songwriter, author, speaker, or thought leader? Have you been looking for a platform for your career? Well, the James O'Connor Agency has exactly what you are looking for. Find out how we write and produce big, amazing songs on Music Row for authors, speakers, thought leaders, and organizations like nonprofit and corporations. We also help singer-songwriters and artists by giving them a platform on Dharmic Evolution, a podcast designed specifically to broadcast your global career, now in 71 countries and with more than 161 episodes of artists all over the world from all genres. We know how to reach your target audience. Are you a dreamer like James? Then reach out today to James at thejamesoconnораgency.com and find out how we can help your global career.
Darry, I got to just say, welcome to Dharmic Evolution. It's so good to have you with us today.
Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure for me to be here and get to know you and get the world to know me as well. I'm very happy and I'm very pleased.
Yes, and you are an international author, and you have you've been living on many different continents since you were a little girl. So let's start with you grew up down in Colombia, correct?
Yes, I'm Colombian, born and raised until I was about 24 years old. A beautiful culture, beautiful people. And I'm very proud to be Colombian.
And beautiful food too, right?
Yeah, delicious. The food, the mountain, the coffee.
Yeah, and the ladies.
Dancing.
And the ladies.
Of course, very famous about the beauty.
That's right. So now you're both you're living in Florida, and you're also a British citizen. So can you take us on the journey of how this happened? This young girl who was born in Colombia ended up in all these places. It seems like a fabulous life you're having. So take us down the trail of how this happened.
Well, it's happened to basically because I met my husband in Colombia. He's a British man. So we went to live in Britain for many years. And he introduced me to his wonderful culture, beautiful country. And then I have to learn the language, I have to learn the weather, I have to adjust to everything new for me. So it was kind of adventure, and it was wonderful for me to get to learn about other cultures. Then, of course, he is a businessman. He travels a lot, and then we moved to the U.S. due to his work.
Right. And so the U.S., how do you find that with living in, I mean, you were in Britain and you were in Colombia, and now you're in the United States. Any favorite place for you? Do you prefer one over another? Are you really happy in Florida, or do you feel a little bit displaced?
I'm very happy in Florida. I love the weather. I love that I don't have to wear a lot of clothing, and in here we can be more practical. But
Right.
I have to tell you that every in life is cycles. And I was very pleased and very happy to be in Britain also, because I learned the language, the culture, the art, everything is a cycle in life. I've enjoyed every piece of my life in every country. I always take the best and the bad of everything in order to grow up as a person, and to have more experience. And for me, I cannot tell you that any place is my favorite, because everywhere have to be different in any kind of source. I can enjoy many things in many countries, and as long as I'm happy with myself, with my soul, and I'm happy with everything surround me, is fine, no matter where I am.
Right. So you live for the moment. You just love being in the moment, and you make the best of that, whatever's happening.
Well, I will tell you, past is gone. I cannot do anything about that.
Right.
I only can take the good and the bad moments to make it better. I live for today, because today I can make a future. I can enjoy today, and I can give the best for me to really live. We don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. I cannot think, I cannot live about thinking of the future, because the future is uncertain. We never know. If I do my best today, I will do my best, and I will live, I'm enjoy, I will laugh, and I will do any dream come true today. And if I'm lucky enough, I can see it through the future if I work today for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about, you're a busy lady. You've got 3 children, correct?
Yes, very
Yes.
busy.
So
6 years apart, all of them.
wow. So that covers the spectrum, huh? You're really busy. So I don't know how you had time with 3 kids at those ages to write this unbelievable novel that you've written. And I want to talk a little bit about that, of course. En la infinita intensidad. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
In the
So
infinity intensity.
say it again.
In the infinity intensity, in
Right.
English, the
So,
translation.
right. So how did you, it's a great title, by the way. And can you explain the title just so people understand, like, where you were coming from when you wrote this? Like,
Well, I'm start writing this book long ago. When I was about 17 years old in Colombia, I written like half of the book in Spanish, of course, en la
yes.
infinita intensidad.
Right.
Then, when I was growing up, I always was writing a little bit of music, lyrics, poems. I love poems. I like to read a lot. So I was in my mind always thinking, I have to publish a book. It's my dream. One day I gotta do it. So one day, 2012, we went to Africa for 3 months, and I say, I'm gonna have a little time for myself.
Yeah.
It's no much to do. So I found my book that I kept for many years.
Right.
Dusted, cleaned it, and took it with me to Africa. And when I had my time in Africa, and finished the book. I finished the story. And it was wonderful, because when you live a little, the time pass by, you have more ideas, you aspire more, you learn more. So it was kind of good for me to read it again and make changes and make it better. And then I decided to do it in 2 languages, in the infinity intensity.
Right.
Right.
Didn't you find that you were spending more time running away from the lions? I don't know how you had time to write the book.
Well, we were lucky there to have babysitter,
Right.
chauffeur, cleaning ladies. So first of all, I'm enjoying my time going to trips and places to see Africa with my children, my husband.
Yeah.
And then when I have any moment, 3 hours, 2 hours, I was with my book, writing everywhere where I could. I could be inspired before
Right.
to go to bed. It's a perfect time to write.
There
So
was,
I use all my time.
yeah, I found that, I'm not quite finished with the book. I'm like in the last 10 or 15% of the book, and I find it captivating. I've been reading it every night for like an hour or so. And,
that's wonderful to know.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And I find that, I'm going out on a limb here because, we haven't talked about this yet, but I feel like you are in the story. and I think you're one of the characters. So can you
Well,
elaborate and let us in on the secret here?
this is a tricky situation for the readers that I will leave it to your thought and to your mind. Yeah,
Okay.
some of the book is about me,
Right.
but also is about everything that I saw through my life.
Yeah.
I have a very large family,
Right.
many cousins, aunties, and I have seen it all.
Yeah.
So I'm not that old yet, but I could
Yeah.
say that I've been living a lot and I have experience and I have so many good and bad
Right.
uh, things that I saw in my life that have touched my heart, my soul.
Yeah.
And then I always was wondering why so much pain, why so much suffering, why people behave in those ways. So it's always was like a wake up call for people and to myself, saying that maybe things have to be done to change the things. That's how society behave.
Right. And it seems as though being a young girl like that and growing up and the things that you saw in your young life, I think that must have connected you to your passionate outreach to people, like, because you support people who are struggling with alcoholism, with substance abuse in many different forms. And was it those experiences as a young girl that impacted you to be in this mode of outreach, that you want to help people around the world with their causes and their sufferings?
Well, I have learned so far that not only the addiction, the abuse of substance interfere with our lives, is the emotional pain,
Right.
the mental problem that we have. We cannot deal with the pain, with the emotion, with the devastations. So many people go through those areas to abuse alcohol, drugs, gambling, eating disorder. So many things that people can get into a problems as a chop, chopping, how you say, chopcoholic.
Oh, right. Yeah. Shopaholic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Right.
there are many addictions. It's not
Yeah.
only drugs, of course, many addictions that people can go to because they cannot deal with the pain, with the suffering, and with the emotions. So people to just escape about reality, people use all of those ways to try to avoid reality.
Right.
And it's important for us not only to deal with the drugs recovery, is also with the mind and the soul. So we have to keep up. In my case, I've been reading a lot of books to help me to improve myself, to deal with my pain, with my emotion, with my problems.
Right.
So for many people, can work in a different ways, and it's important. Sports, do something positive, change the negative to a positive, to a better you. So it's too many drugs and too many, how can I say, people always try to escape, find the easy ways to avoid reality, to avoid the pain, the struggling. So people use different things as life to cover that.
Yeah.
But at the end, we ended up paying a big price because we only don't have just know the addiction of the drug and the emotional pain and the psychological pain.
Right.
So it's a big, big, big thing that we have to really work out in us to be able to succeed, and also the hope and the higher power.
Right. Do you find that your children inspire you and give you ideas about these things that we're talking about?
Oh my God. Of course, they are my world. They are
Yeah.
my motto. They are everything to me. When
Right.
sometimes I feel sad, sometimes I feel low, I have to think of them to make me continue living, to make me continue being strong, to make me continue dreaming and making them dream, because I always dream to see them succeed, growing up, the graduation. I want to be with them in the best and worst part of their lives. So I always say, I want my kids to have a better life than I have. I
Right.
always want to see them in a better place where I was.
Yeah. And you said they're 6 years apart. He's just 3 girls, is it?
No, one boy,
Oh,
20,
uh-huh.
James,
Okay.
same as you.
Oh, that's a good name.
He was born in Colombia.
Okay.
Then Estefania, born in Britain, she's 14.
Right.
And then Ophelia was born here in the US.
Wow. They were all born in a different country. That's so cool.
Yes.
So they must be able to like share each other's experiences on some level with each other. That must be neat. You
Of
know?
course,
Yeah.
it's something very good because there's a lot of things going on in our culture,
Yeah.
and all come and join together, and we just what a strong big family.
And I
It's
can't
amazing.
imagine like having that diversity growing up and saying, you know what, my sister does this and she shared this with me and my brother did that. I mean, that's a really, really great thing. Hey, let me ask you this. You like music too, like you're really connected to music and you had done some writing. And as growing up in Colombia, what were you drawn to as far as like the type of music you listened to? Was it did you listen to things outside of Colombia, or were you just listening to things, you know, in your own culture, or were you listening to
You will
everything?
laugh. You will laugh about this, but
Okay.
since I was very a little girl, I always loved the American music.
Oh, okay.
The rock from 70s, 80s, and I was a lover. I mean, I've been a lover of Bon Jovi all my life.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
since I was very young, I've been listening to him, and I have seen him in concerts 3
Uh-huh.
times, one in Colombia, one in Britain, and one in the US.
Yeah. Well, they tour a lot. So you know, I think he lives actually near me. So I'll have to get down and tell
You
him.
better give my number.
I will. You know, if I run into him on the New Jersey Parkway, I'll just say, "Listen, Gary wants to meet you, John. Can we work something out here?"
I do love rock and roll. I'm more like the old ways. This music is disappearing these days. People have changed. Also, Bon Jovi changed his music, but
Right.
I do like the 70s, 80s, such as Aerosmith, Guns N' Roses, Scorpion, Cinderella. I
Yeah,
love all that type of music. Yes,
that's
I
really
love
good stuff. Yeah.
music inspire you. We
Yeah.
all need music.
This is true. It's got to be part of your life, you know. So you know, I noticed that you're also a very spiritual and Christian woman. That comes across in the book. Or am I overstepping it here? I notice you're very connected to the Lord. If that's you in the book that's speaking, so can you tell us about that journey?
Well, actually, my mother was very spiritual. She always was very a good Christian. She
Okay,
loved God, and then
right,
she introduced us to God since we were young.
right.
But you know, when you're teenager, you don't want to hear, you don't want to know Him, you want to do your ways, you know it all.
Yes, this is true.
So yeah, somehow in your heart it stays, and then later on in life, you find life that if we don't have a higher power, if we don't believe in God, if we don't have faith and the hope, is like we never will be.
Yeah,
We all need love and we all need God in our lives in order to continue living, because it's not easy these days, the world. And of course, God, I believe that He made us. I believe He's there, and I believe He made so much miracles through people, and He's the God of the universe. I truly, truly love Him, and and I teach my children, and keep telling them that He's there always for us, and
right.
it's so easy to communicate to Him only through a prayer. We just communicating to our higher power.
Right. So your kids, you've taught them this. So it's such a valuable thing to share with somebody, especially when you have a young life that you're in charge of helping shape that personality and that belief system. And, to share like stories about the Lord and what the relationship can be. And I always say it's like, if you see somebody in the store and you see this person often in the place where you do your shopping, for instance, and you never go up to them and say hello to them, how can you have a relationship with them? It just can't happen,
Exactly.
and I think God is not, he's not different than that. He's the same. It's like, unless you foster that relationship, how can it grow and blossom? So it requires effort on our parts to make this happen. It's just not,
It's true. It's
you
true.
know,
God said He's always there, but He cannot reach us until we reach Him, until we open the door to Him and say, "Hi, I need you. I believe in you. Please come to my life." If we
right,
don't do that simple step to connect with Him, it won't be a connection ever. He never will come to your life. So
right,
it's important for us to recognize Him and call Him in our prayers. And of course, we not only search for Him when we are in trouble. Only we have to be grateful and thank Him for the day, for the food, for everything that we have in our lives. Yeah,
yeah.
God is the rock of universe, and He's here for us.
Yeah, that's true. And you mentioned like being a young teenager, and it's like, we all do this. If only you just do this for me this one time, I'll do XYZ for you forever. And it's like, it's such a childish and immature thing. And we've all done that. We've all gotten into this impossible situation that we feel like we can't get out of. And that's when we call the Lord. Like, it's like, I ignore you all the time, except for today when I'm in real trouble, and now I'm calling you. So I just feel like, I'm glad that you're sharing your experiences, with people about this, so they can take comfort in the fact that, yeah, He is there for you if you reach out and develop a relationship with Him, and it just gets better all the time.
Have you connected with your gratitude today? I think I have something that will help inspire you. It's the brand new release from James Kevin O'Connor. Gratitude, recorded on Music Row in Nashville, Tennessee with producer Kim Copeland and team, is James' third full-length album in 4 years. 10 amazing songs, each one a different story about the emotions, journeys and experiences that you and I have lived. Songs like Dreamer, Jesus Teaches, Tango On, and 51 Shades of Grey. And of course, title track, Gratitude. Pick up the brand new CD today with amazing artwork and photography at iTunes, CD Baby, and Amazon. Or simply go to jameskevinoconnor.com for your download right now. Send someone that you love a copy of Gratitude today. It might be exactly what they need in their life right now. Gratitude, the new release by James Kevin O'Connor.
Hey, I saw your magazine article, which was fascinating. The International Face magazine, which, folks, if you haven't looked, you can Google that. International Face magazine. And Dari was in there, and there's a great story about her, about being a wife, a mother, an author, and all of the things that you have done in your life, in your relatively short life. You've done a lot. And so I wanted to ask you, where does your bliss come from? You just have this this effervescent, vibe going through you that you seem to really seize and enjoy the best parts of life, even though life can be challenging. So where does that come from? How did you get that, Dari?
Well, I will say I always have fire in my heart, in my soul. I always keep asking and saying, I want more. I want to feel more, that I can contribute to the world. I can do better. I can make myself better. And I want to help people. And I want people to hear me. And I want people to be listened to. So I have to say something that I was born with it. and I always want my voice to be here, and I want people to. I love to communicate with people, and I will tell you that is in my soul and my Latino blood. I don't know, it's something that I have inside me.
Well, I think that's fabulous that you have that, because can you share with us, like, how would you counsel people to access that don't have it? Because I have some of that going on, and it's a blessing. I call it. People say to me, "How do you have so much energy?" Somebody just asked me this the other day, and I said, it's from the Lord, and it's also from my mom, so it's a little bit genetic. But when you have that passion that's in you, that you're always striving and you're always working, and to me it's not work, it's I love what I do so much, so I stay really, really busy, and you seem to have the same thing. So from where you sit, how would you counsel people to access their own energy? What could they do to have a little taste of what you do and what you have?
I will tell you my little secret. The real secret is when I go through big crisis, problems, trouble, when I'm
Right.
low and I feel depressed and sad. So I have to come back strong, rethink, and take the best out of me and switch the shift to the other side, and push myself a little bit harder with positive to try to find the end of the tunnel, to find the best. So it's how I work the things. When I'm very sad, I switch it, and then I get strong, positive, and I do the best I can in order to challenge myself to keep going. Try to, from the bad, I take the best out of me, and to try to do something better with myself and with the situations. So people are reborn after crisis. Some people need crisis in order to find themselves, in order to grow. We all learn. Big people come from crisis and failures. So it's not a bad thing being in crisis. It's not a bad thing have failures, because actually all those things show you and make you who you are, and even make you stronger. So that's my little secret.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, you're right, because if there's no challenges, if everything was just handed to you, life would have very little value. I mean, it wouldn't mean nearly as much, but you're right. When you come out of the opposite end of a crisis, when you come out the other end, you are usually much stronger and much wiser for having gone through that.
Absolutely. Failures, pain, loss, bad situation, trouble make you wiser, make you stronger, make you clever. So it's not a bad thing to go through all of that. It cannot be everything a happy life. It will be boring as well. So we all need to be shaken sometimes. We all need to go through things that we cannot control. So we learn. It's a lesson that life gives us for us.
Right. You're also very committed to a healthy lifestyle and physical fitness, as I am. And I wanted to just ask you that one thing I just popped into my head while you were talking about that is Tony Robbins taught me a long time ago was, if you are stuck in like a depressed state, which everybody gets in those troughs of you're
course.
feeling good, but then you have a low day. And the way to change that is with motion. You want to change your emotion, you change it with motion. So Tony's big thing was get busy doing something physical. It could just be go out and take a walk and start with that, or do some push-ups or whatever your jam is, maybe it's swimming or whatever. Do you find that helps you lift your energy or your emotional state?
Positive. If
Yeah.
we if we take our body and do any kind of heavy exercise, it will help you physically and mentally. You will use all your energy. You will do good to your own mind, to your body, and it will keep you in shape and fit. Personally, I love spinning classes. I love, and I could spin every day, 7 days a week. It's
Do
my
you
passion.
really? Whoa, look at you go, girl. Awesome. Yeah.
I love spinning classes, and I do weights as well. If I have more time, I will do it more. I
Yeah.
could do more, but it's important. Exercising is bring you peace, make you tired. All
Right.
the anger, the energy. If you have something negative going through you, through the exercise, you will release and you will breathe and you will feel much better. And
Right.
the clothing will fit you better and you will look better. So it's important. Exercise, physical exercise is very important, and I highly recommend it.
So then, that's grounds for going to be a shopaholic again, man. If you're looking good, time to go buy some clothes, ladies, right? Yeah. Get out to the mall, right?
Well, you gotta treat yourself. You gotta love yourself, and you sometimes you have to make yourself feel good. Spend
Yeah.
a little money on you because we deserve it to make you feel good.
Nordstrom's, here I come. I love their men's department. Yeah. Hey, I got one for you. I wanted to ask you, if you were stranded on a desert island and you could have three things, only three things to take with you, what would you bring with you?
Okay. I could definitely, I will bring a fishing net, a satellite phone, and of course, a knife to
A knife.
protect myself, or if
Yeah.
I have to do something to cook or
Cut the fish.
protection.
Yeah.
Yes, those three things.
Wow. I like that. The fishing net and the phone is to call the retail store, of course, and get your shoes. Because then you
Call
could
the helicopter to be rescued.
yeah, yeah. And then you could call to order shoes because girls need like lots of shoes, desert
I
island or
love
not,
shoes. I'm a shoe lover.
Right. So when you travel, you have like, three suitcases, two for the shoes and one for your clothes, right?
Well, these days I'm more practical. I
Are
don't
you?
like to carry a lot of stuff like I
Yeah.
used to be in the past. You don't want to do these long lines at the airport,
Yeah.
waiting. No, I'm more practical.
It's a lot
I
of work.
Oh yeah, I take more small clothes, everything that I can walk a lot. I don't take just only probably high heel for one special night, but most of it is easier to be practical and not to carry a lot of stuff
Right.
around.
Yeah. Hey, so tell me, just getting back to the book, I want to ask you, how has this been going with getting support from friends and your circles of people? Have they supported the book and have they given you feedback? Like, has people come out and said to you, I'm so glad you wrote this because I have had experiences similar to some of the characters in this book. Has that happened?
Yes, it's happened. Of course, most of my friends have bought the book, ordered the book, and some of them they call me and discuss why you did this, why you did that, and then it's funny for me. It's good, and I say it's just a book, and some people want different ending, and some people say different things, and I'm very happy and glad that to hear everybody have different points of view,
Right.
and I just keep listening. For me, it's very important to listen to people, and I always keep that in my mind for the future when I do the second book.
Yeah, you talked about that. So the second book, will that be a completely different story, or will it be like an extension of what happened with this story?
Completely different,
Oh, okay. Can,
different.
can you
And
give us
learning
a
more and reading more. As I've been, I love in my free times. I love to read also. So one of my favorites authors are Miguel Ruiz.
okay.
He done the Four Agreement book
Oh, yes, I have that.
and the fifth.
The Fifth Agreement. Oh, I don't have that one. The four I have. That's
Yeah, and
awesome.
he have
Yes.
more, and actually highly recommend this because have helped me with
Right.
myself to
Yeah.
accept the things that I cannot change, to accept situation, to change my life. That's really, really, really good.
Right.
And also I love Walter Rizzo. I have
Okay.
many books of him downstairs, comes in English too. And that help with love and to love yourself, to love and not suffer. So I do try to keep myself busy and try to help my feelings and try to go through to learn from people who are older than me, and then I can learn from.
Right. Don't you just love the Kindle app?
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, I'm kind of torn because I'm a bit of a traditionalist. Like I have like bookshelves full of the real books because I just love the real book. I love to read a real book, but the convenience of having that iPad and just taking it anywhere, out to the pool, out in the car, out to a park, and just being able to read anywhere is hard to beat,
Well, I
So,
have to be honest with you, as I'm with you, and rather have the book, read it like the old fashioned. I
yeah.
love to see the pages, smell the
The
pages, turn the
smell.
pages.
Yeah.
Yes, I love to feel it. I
Yeah.
love to stop and come back, and it's just beautiful by the lamp on
Yeah.
the middle of night reading. For me, it's like it's something that relaxes me, and it's like I feel myself very calm. The Kindle is good probably for traveling, not to
Yes.
carry the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
And it's technology, of course. We have to, keep up with technology.
Yeah.
It's good for traveling, but in myself, I'd rather always be in old fashioned. I love the pages. I love to see the book. Everything inspired me, made me. It's like have something to relax me and feel better, much
Right.
better.
Yeah. It's almost you can fire your therapist and just go buy a book.
Yeah.
That's what I
The
would
good
do.
thing is that to have a therapy is that they will reply to you. You're just not
Yes.
talking to yourself. You have somebody else
Yeah.
talking to you.
I'm single, so I talk to myself all the time. I just get nervous if I answer myself, then I get really worried.
No,
So,
you single, no way. You better get online and
no,
meet somebody
I
new.
have no time. I gave up on that. I'm waiting for her to come to me. That's what I'm gonna do.
Naturally.
So,
Oh, you wait there. You might be ended up getting married soon.
yeah. Oh, I don't know. I was married a long time ago, but I've been single a while. But let me ask you also. I want to ask you, what is your next project? You're talking about another book. Do you have anything else that you're looking forward to the rest of this year? What's like really big and happening in Luz Darius Griffith's life that she can share with us that you're really excited about?
No, at the moment, I want to continue writing the next book, and it's a lot of challenge because I have to make it better, like my first one. And also, I always been hoping that my book En la Infinita Intensidad go to big screen as a movie.
Right.
Will be a dream come true. That could be great. And then at the moment, raising up the children, traveling around, going with the flow as well.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
waiting always. I always like to, see around. If I have another opportunity, if it's something come up, I'm open mind. I'm always wondering if what could it be. So, and what could I make, or what can it happen? So, I'm open to ideas. I'm very people person. I love people. I love traveling. I love music. I love literature. Eh, I love reading books.
Right.
Also, I love art, musicals. We went to Chicago last week, and then we saw Alexander Hamilton show. Alexander Hamilton show,
Right.
and it was marvelous. It was wonderful. So I do love theater as well.
So I think you just covered my last question. I was going to ask you, what is your greatest love besides your beautiful children and your husband? So you just hit on like 10 different things. So, but if you had to narrow it down, like what is it really that lights you up? What lights up your life there?
My life, God. God,
Okay.
everything. God is my soul, is He's my hero, He's my everything, through everything. And then I do love, as a second things, apart from my family, my children, my husband, I do love art, music, go to see shows. I love castles. I love everything like the castles in Britain, Robert the Bruce castles. I'm a big movie lover. I love movies as well. So I do try to enjoy myself as much as I can.
So are just you have no time for anything because your schedule is full, girl. You're going all the time, right?
Yes, but everything with moderation, and if I plan everything ahead, everything can work out properly.
Right. Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to put your links in the show notes so anybody that comes to the show will be able to get to your book and give one more plug for your book. The title again is give us to us in Spanish and in English because I love to hear you say it in Spanish.
En Spanish es En la infinita intensidad, una historia adolorida. And in English is In the infinity intensity.
I love that infinity intensity. What a title. And so I can't wait to see it on the big screen. And folks, you can pick this up at all the retails. It'll be on Amazon and I'll put all the links in the show notes. Just click on and it's Luz Darry Griffiths. Check out her book. You're going to really enjoy it. I can't put it down. I'm going to finish it tonight. So then I'm going to have to reach back to you and say, I know exactly who you are in this book, but I'm not going to tell you.
So far, what do you think about the book?
I think it's amazing. You know, it's so in depth with all the characters in the family. So I have to keep, I have to keep my eye on, let's see, where did I leave off and where was Teresa and where was Matilda and, where is everybody in the story? And then I get back into it. And I find it hard to put down because it's really fascinating. And you really show people, the highs and the lows of life. You're really showing like the character flaws and people's dark side as well as their light side and their bright side. So I like that you're very, very transparent and very honest about telling the story.
That's great. Yes, I'm always trying to be as humble as I can. I love people, and we all go through dark places, dark parts of our lives, and life is not easy. And as long as you are humble and you help other people around you and you accept reality, you could always make you the best of you. So I love to learn through people, stories, everything. I'm ears. I want to know what's going on. I want to see what people feel, what they think, why they have to teach me. And always get the best things of people. And I keep learning because I think we never end learning, always in something better. And I wish to have an even wiser mind, wiser heart, and I want to learn from people. So that's very important for me.
Yeah. I was at Brendan Burchard. He's a thought leader and a very famous author. I went to him a couple of years ago, and he reads a book a week, and he does it consistently every week, a new book. I find that hard to do, but I think you're right. The more you ingest, the more influences you can look at. They help you carve out your own destiny. And it always comes from your heart because you'll attract the things to your heart that you need and want in your life, So,
and we always learn more from older people. People are more wiser. They have seen it all. They have things to say. So for me, I always have respect for older people. And for me, it's like the masters that they know and they can lead me even better, wake me up and show me the world and show me different ways to see with a third eye or see something different, you know.
Right. Dari, it was a pleasure to have you on the Dharmic Evolution. Thank you so much for being here today. And I just want to wish you all of God's blessings on you and your family and your career. And you are a light in the world, young lady.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. And I want to congratulate you for your music, for your show. You are an amazing person. I'm very happy to be here. And I wish you the best.
En la infinita intensidad. Infinite intensity. Growing up in Colombia, becoming a British citizen, now living in Pembroke, Florida, in the good old USA. An author, counselor, creative, a mother of 3, all born in different countries, and a woman who puts God first in her life before all else. It's the way it should be. You can find out more about Dari at www.international-face.com, an international magazine, and just put in her name after that, Loz Dari Griffiths. Get the whole story on the book, her life, how she supports the challenges that women around the world face on a day-to-day basis, whether it be trapped with substance abuse, physical or emotional abuse, or just in the wrong relationship. She brings a guiding light for those looking for a change. You can find it all in the show notes here on the Dharmic Evolution website or in iTunes. Hey, if you have not yet taken advantage of the Dharmic Evolution Facebook community page, please do so. If you have a new song, a new video, if you're playing a gig or just released your new book, you can go over there and post your content so people can see what is happening in your career. Or if you want to drop in a comment about a fellow artist, singer-songwriter, author, speaker, thought leader, and show them some love, please do so. And for all of those of you who have stopped by to subscribe, rate, and review the show in iTunes, thank you. It means a lot to the continual forward motion of this show. You know, we've been #1 podcast in iTunes all this week for music shows in the USA. Did you know that? And we have recently scored #1s in Germany, Japan, Singapore, Australia, Canada, and the UK, just to name a few. So it's all thanks to you, musicians, authors, speakers, thought leaders, and music lovers who support this show. Thank you guys so much for the love. It's felt here in big ways. Hey, that's it for me today. I'm your host for the Dharmic Evolution, James Kevin O'Connor, singer-songwriter, audio-video artist, master storyteller, and international talent agent. So until the next time when we meet again, I'll either see you on the socials or I'll see you from the stage.